Hey guys, it's SD, your host of the Life Picks Relationship podcast, where people with all sorts of backgrounds, challenges, and life experience show us how they make their relationship extraordinary.
Okay, have you ordered the Genius Relationships online course yet? If yet, I gotta hear how it's going because I know you have great news and I wanna hear it. If not, you're missing out. Go right now to geniusrelationships.com to reserve your slot and take your relationship to the next level today.
Hey guys, we're here today with Amy Stein. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on your show.
I'm so glad to be finally speaking to you. Do you want to start by telling us a bit about yourself? And we do.
Sure. So I'm the owner and founder of Beyond Basics Physical Therapy in New York City. We have two offices in Midtown and downtown, and right now they're mostly closed because of what's going on in the world. But we are still here for our patients, and we specialize in pelvic and sexual health, which is what I would love to talk to everyone about. I've written two books, Heal Pelvic Pain and Beating Endo, How to Reclaim Your Life from Endometriosis. I also have a digital download or video that patients, basically like a self-care guide to pelvic and sexual health. And I'm just passionate about speaking about it, so I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So you want to maybe start by telling us in short what that self-guide help is about so we could start doing it also?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is when it comes to relationships is being open with your partner about things that are going on, things you're feeling. We also see a lot of young patients and they haven't been in relationships or they're fearful of relationships because of discomfort that they're feeling in the pelvic region. So pelvic, by the way, includes bladder, bowel, and sexual health. So some patients have bladder issues with pain with sexual activity or penetration. Some have pain, post-orgasmic pain. Some have bowel issues accompanying the bladder and sexual health issues. So there's a lot that I could talk about. So I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum, but realize that pelvic health can include a wide range of signs and symptoms. And one of the things that we see frequently, and it's not that uncommon, by the way, is sexual pain with men and women and transgender and all genders. So we specialize in the actual muscles and rehabbing the muscles and getting them so that there's no pain or that there's an increase in orgasm, because some patients don't feel the orgasm as much or it's too sensitive. So there's all these different perspectives of what could be going on, but basically the self-care program that my video provides and that we do for telehealth, as well as in-office visits, can guide you towards relieving these symptoms and improving your relationship. So I know I went around the corner and many different avenues, but there's a lot that can be done that is unknown regarding sexual health and sexual pain. And that is what we specialize in.
That's awesome. Now we have two types of listeners, people that have sexual pain and people that don't.
Yes.
Let's see if we could give some advice to each of them.
So for the ones that don't and maybe just want to improve their sexual health, or maybe they are noticing that things are not as intense as they used to be, or the orgasm's a little bit less, or the sensations have changed a little bit, they could actually do what's called pelvic floor exercises. So it's basically contracting the muscles and relaxing the muscles and doing that repeatedly, similar to how you would do bicep curls or leg lifts. You want to keep that area strong and with proper blood flow. So sitting a lot isn't the best option for the blood flow. So we get patients to stand more, to do more stretches, and to do some strengthening exercises, which are called Kegels, pelvic floor exercises. You only need to do them once or twice a day. You don't have to do them all day long, and you shouldn't do them all day long. It should be just as if you were doing, again, like bicep curls for a weak bicep muscle. You do repetition and then you stop and you just try to forget about it for the rest of the day. That will help with increasing the muscle tone, which can help enhance orgasm. Then on the other side of the spectrum, which we call overactive pelvic floor muscles or tension in the pelvic floor muscles, can cause pain with penetration, pain with orgasm or post-orgasmic pain in our patients. Some patients can't even have penetration, or they have what also is called in males premature ejaculation. In females, there's like an arousal disorder that happens where they're constantly feeling sensitivity there, so it's a constant sense of arousal. Those patients need more the stretching and the relaxation and actual lengthening of the pelvic floor muscles. Similar to if you had like back tension or neck tension, you need to massage those muscles out. It's a similar concept but it's with the pelvic floor. So there is actually some external massages, and with a expert pelvic floor physical therapist, they can also perform internal, which sounds scarier than it is, but it's not. It's patients are actually, when they come in, they're so relieved that they even can get help for this. So they're just happy to be in our offices, or we're doing telehealth, and we can actually walk the patients through how to do an exam on themselves, and also a home program, which is what your first question was. What is the self-care involved? So for this particular diagnosis of more the overactive pelvic floor, it is more, again, stretches and relaxation techniques. We talk about using dilators or therapeutic wands. So my video as well as my book go into these self-care techniques, but ideally consulting with a pelvic floor physical therapist it's really essential, because you want to find specifically what you need to do versus just kind of a global program.
Yeah, it is a very specific and personalized thing.
It is it is personalized, but we, like our PTs, and by the way, sexual health therapists can be very helpful too from the mental health point of view, but we've been doing this for so long. So to us, it's like, oh yeah, we see this all the time and we can really help you. And patients are just so thankful that they even know that there's help out there for them. So
yeah, it's not something that is often spoken about and just out there.
Yeah,
Now,
we need to take the taboo away from it, because it shouldn't be. It's a part of life and of your health.
Exactly. Now, what if a person is in a relationship with someone that has some sort of sexual health issue? It could be really hard on themselves. What do you suggest they do to help improve the relationship?
Number one thing is communicate with your partner. And I would say from our experience, most partners, the patients are surprised that the partners are pretty open and understanding to their condition and what's going on. And once they start talking about it with them, there's a sense of relief. If you do find that a partner is not as supportive, then definitely seek a sexual health therapist or counselor for couples therapy or sexual health therapy. We also try to guide the patients in how to talk to their partner about it. And that it's just really important to get the partner involved. If they are not willing to get involved at all, then that's kind of another subject, because then
that's probably a sign that there is something else in your relationship that isn't so healthy, because this is a challenge that you are in together as you are a couple.
Yeah. So long story long, really try to open up to your partner. And if you don't feel comfortable, we've talked to patients about it with their partner, or we've had conversations with the partners, or again, seeking out a sexual health or couples counselor.
Now let's take that and flip that to the other side. If someone is in a relationship and their partner is the one with the issues, they don't have issues, their partner has it, what could they do to help and support their partner?
I would say listening is huge, understanding their symptoms, and even if they don't fully understand, just being that ear, being supportive, and asking how you can help. Because we've had partners that the ones that are feeling the symptoms, they want their partner to get involved. We've also had patients that they actually didn't want to have their partner involved in the healing, the therapy part of it, the physical therapy therapy part of it, because it was like they were crossing a boundary of their sexual health life and therapy. So I think understanding what your partner that is experiencing these symptoms, what their wants and needs are, is really important. And again, and some patients don't know, or they don't know right away. So we'll have a patient come in with their partner. We show the partner what to do at home that can help them. But then they get home and they're like, you know what? I just don't want to cross that line. I want to do it myself. I want to do it with you as the professional. And then when it comes to my partner at home, I just want it to be enjoyable and relationship building versus therapy.
Yeah. So it's like listening to what they want and focusing on them.
On their needs and what they think would be most helpful.
Yeah. How did you get involved in this? How did you start?
That is a question I get asked very frequently, almost daily. Basically, I was in grad school and I had a friend that had a hysterectomy, and she went home and she was experiencing a lot of bladder, bowel, sexual health issues, and a lot of abdominopelvic pain. And I went to my professors after the physicians had ruled out no infection, no UTI, no yeast infection, no bladder, bowel issues that they could see, and no sexual health issues that they could see. And the professors put it back on me and said, well, what do you think it could be if they've ruled out her back? There's no back issues, low back issues. So I went back to my books and I looked up my books and what else could it be? And just from what she was describing about the pain and the bladder and bowel urgency and frequency, and she couldn't have penetrative sex because it was so painful. I looked further down on the nerves in the sacrum and the pelvic region, and I realized, oh, it could be one of these nerves that connect to these organs and these muscles that help control these organs. And sure enough, that's what it was. And I realized that there was such a need and such a gap in the healthcare system for this patient population. There's a lot of misdiagnosis still, and there's a lot of unnecessary treatments that are still happening, like medications for infections that aren't there, and surgeries for pain that it doesn't require surgery. It actually requires working on the musculoskeletal system, which is where pelvic floor physical therapists come into play. They are experts in the musculoskeletal system, and a lot of these patients have issues or tension or nerve irritation in that area of the pelvic floor. And that's exactly what my friend had. She had nerve irritation, which was causing muscle tightness and tension, and then it was affecting bladder, bowel, sexual health, and causing pain.
So the nerves do much more than we think they do.
Yes, they do. And then that was 20 years ago. And there was a lot that wasn't known. And especially in New York City, I was really shocked at how many physicians didn't even know that this was an area that physical therapists could help. So over the past 20 years, we've really expanded on educating the community, educating healthcare providers and physicians, and it's improved, but we still have a long way to go to educating and helping with that medical maze that the patients go through. We want to decrease that course of action and not have them go to 10 different physicians or healthcare providers before they get the proper care that they need. So we're still working on it, but it's improved quite a bit, but we still have a long way to go.
Do you think a couple, after going through this process of having difficulties and getting through the end of it, doing exercises, becoming healthier, do you think it helps the relationship, in the long run?
I honestly think it defines the relationship a bit, because I see the relationships that are strong and they work it out and they have a better relationship after it and a better understanding of each other. I have also seen the unfortunate side of where the partner isn't supportive. But then to me, that's better to find that out now, especially with my younger patients. Better to find that out now than 10 years from now. So I do see that it can define a relationship better.
Now, in general, what do you suggest a couple do to have an extraordinary relationship?
That's a good question. I would say extraordinary relationship. Well, communication is huge. That's probably number one. And it's communication about the day to day. It's communication about what's going on in family life, as well as work life, as well as sexual health. I'm going to steer more towards the sexual health part because that is my area of expertise, making sure that that is strong and healthy too. And if there are some issues, then seeking out, trying on your own first, you could definitely try that, but seeking out help if you feel like you've hit a barrier or if you just want the extra support and guidance of an expert.
Awesome. Great. Anything else you want to share with us?
I just want to share that I appreciate that you're doing this and I appreciate that you're helping to get this information out to patients, the community, as well as healthcare providers. And I do want to tell patients that are suffering, whether it's from the underactive pelvic floor or the muscles that need more strengthening or the overactive and the pain, that there is help out there. And it's finding your team of practitioners and your personal team, your family members that are supportive, and really utilizing that to help you to improve your relationship and your sexual health.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this wonderful podcast.
Did you enjoy that episode? Could you do me a personal favor and subscribe and leave a review? It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much and have an awesome day.